Hello and welcome into a World Series edition of The Big O Show with Orestes Destrade. I am your humble host, JP Peterson. What a World Series we have had, my friend.
Brother,
this has been unbelievable.
It has not been tranquil and tropical, I'll tell you that much. It's been a hurricane, and it's been dramatic. It's been exciting. It's been really a fun one to watch. I think you have two heavyweights, and there's definitely a lot of drama involved in this.
Yeah, it has been fun to watch, and a lot of great side stories that we're going to get into, which makes it even more intriguing to me. We are brought to you by the great folks at Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. Great place to watch a World Series game, by the way. They got a great bar area, lots of TVs, and the best food in the business. Kingmakers Tampa, where we're coming to you from in this beautiful production studio here, Kingmakers Tampa, and the Murphy Auto Group, specifically Genesis of Tampa. And we'll talk about those folks in just a little bit. Just first blush, my friend, I don't know if we've talked to the fans since the 18-inning historic classic that clearly has taken a toll on the Dodgers.
Yes, it definitely
because they have not been the same since.
No, offensively, especially the last two games, they've seemed to be admired in a slump, especially last game. You know, when you break down this World Series, and the reason that it's been so interesting, I think, obviously, you know, it's more followed now than ever. Every World Series is going to be more and more hyped up, especially when you have teams like last year with the Yankees and the Dodgers, the two big boys facing each other. Then you have, you know, the narratives of, you know, the powerhouse that is the Dodgers facing Canada's beloved team, the Toronto Jays. So now you've got, like, you know, U.S. against Canada type of a deal. So and you have social media that you know pumps it up so much. But I will say this: I think we've seen one of the reasons that it's been one of the greatest series, and I have a feeling that this thing is going to go 7, which would make it even more dramatic. Yeah, is that you've had 5 different games, JP. You've had 5 different narrative of games. You had the first game, which was the blowout. Oh my gosh, they just blew out the Dodgers. Are they just going to sweep right by the Dodgers? Okay, no, that's not the case, because the game 2, completely different game, and you had a gem by Yamamoto. You know, complete game, 1 run, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, dominance of that. Finally, somebody slowing down the juggernaut offense of the Jays. Then you had a completely another different game. You had an 18-inning historic game. Incredible. With, you know, dramatics all over the place, walk-off home run, the 9 bases for, you know, on base for the great Shohei Ohtani. Totally different game. Then you finally had a 2025 regular season game where you 6-2 win. Wasn't really some one pitcher that just kind of blew everybody away. The Jays had a nice pitching performance, used their relievers smartly, did the small
from
ball.
a guy you called out early in the season.
Yeah, Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber was solid, right? A guy that was the sleeper, you know, trade deadline pick that a lot of people were like, oh, you know.
Yeah, you said watch out for this guy in postseason.
This guy could be. I think it was a very smart move by them as far as scouting the Shane Bieber, who was just a Cy Young winner just a few years ago, then goes down with Tommy John for a year and a half, throws a couple of decent games for Cleveland, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're like, we'll take him. And people are like, you're taking a guy that just came back from Tommy John? Well, I tell you what,
stroke of genius.
Stroke of genius, and they used him properly during the season, didn't abuse him. And here he is, having had a couple of great starts, the last one being the best one. But again, didn't, you know, overwhelm the Dodgers, pitched solid. That game 4 was just your basic winning game. Oh, you saw it all year long in 2025 for the Rays. Those are Rays fans. You know, win or lose, 6-2, somewhere around there. No big deal. Dodgers could have done more offensively, only struck out 7 times. Then you have, 4 different games. Then you have the one game where it becomes an ugly game for the loser. And it happened to be the Dodgers, because this game just blew my mind, because not only did Giuseppe have, you know, just an incredible historic rookie record-setting 12 strikeouts, you know, but no walks.
Never been done.
And for a 22-year-old, we're going to talk in a minute about him. But the Dodgers had an abysmal game. Offensively, horrendous. Only 4 hits. Oh, by the way, 15 strikeouts. Oh, by the way, something that you don't even see in the regular season. Forget about the World Series. You had a guy in Barger get a little C&I dog base hit to left, advance to second on a wild pitch, advance to third on a wild pitch, score on a wild pitch. Just basically bad baseball. And oh, by the way, they had one more wild pitch to score a run. So you just kind of handed it to the Jays. But you have to applaud Trey Yosavage, because this kid, goodness, in April, he was pitching in our backyard over here in Dunedin.
Yes.
He was pitching probably at the Tampa Tarpons little makeshift
the
stadium,
the
Little League field that they had to play
yeah.
for out back, because, we, the Rays, were using the main field, Steinbrenner Stadium. And so this is a guy that nobody knew, but was right around the corner from us.
Yeah.
Moves up after about 3 or 4 starts in the Florida State League, goes up to their higher A league, moves up to AA, moves up to AAA, and comes up in the big leagues, and all of a sudden has been the juggernaut. One of the reasons, for sure, I've mentioned it several times since he's come up, is the way that his delivery is over the top, as opposed, he's got the highest release point of any player in the major league, any pitcher in the major leagues. When players are used to around here, he's over the top. And he did one other thing that I'm sure was brought on by his pitching coach and the smart manager that is a former catcher in John Snyder. Oh, by the way, you know what? They hit you a little bit in that first game. You didn't do great that you pitched. Why don't we start a little wrinkle with a slider?
Was that the first time he'd really used the slider?
He had used it in his other starts, but it's kind of
not
like
to that level.
Not to that level. So
did he get 23 swings and misses?
He got 23 swings and misses.
Jesus.
And basically most of them obviously were with the slider, and most actually with that fork ball. It's almost more of a fork ball than a split, and because it just the bottom drops out of it, and it's coming from this thing. Reminds me very much of a guy that I used to face that ended up being Rookie of the Year for the Dodgers back in 1995. I had great battles with him in Japan in his prime. And that's Hideo Nomo. Nomo came with the tornado, and then he would come over the top, and with a 97, and then that exploding forkball.
Yosavage is tall, and
6'4".
so he releases at 7 feet.
Yeah,
which is the highest in baseball, second only to Blake Snell, who was on the mound last night.
Right,
who was at 6'5", even though he is about 6'5". So that's what does that
Blake
do?
Comes
that angle
from here.
So
you can recognize it, and they've seen Blake Snell numerous times. This is a guy they've never seen, only twice now. And what it does is that you kind of learn as a hitter to box up. You're always taught box up where the guy releases. So when you're on deck or you're watching film, you're trying to box up that release, and your mind's eye is so used to that release point being somewhere around here or here. You're just kind of in this area.
Right.
So when you get a guy that's coming from over here, it just changes everything for you, and you tend to be either early or late. And he was getting a lot of jumping out swings. The Dodgers, incredibly have been popping up crazy. So when you're popping up, that means you're kind of over swinging, right? When you're late and you're behind the ball, you end up maybe sometimes hitting a lot of ground balls. But they're over swinging, and just, right now, especially the last 2 games, have been out of sync. But you're right. It kind of did start with that 18-inning game for them, because they had an abysmal second game. If you want to break that game up into 2 9-inning games, their offense was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, you throw those 9 innings in as well. They've gone 27 innings with
minimal
3
offense.
runs.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jeez,
so
Pete.
and
you ain't winning a World Series like that.
And remember, I said before quite a bit that one of the key hitters in this would be Mookie Betts, and he has just been atrocious. And interesting comments. And I'm not a big, big 3 analysts. I don't get a shitload out of what they say. Who the big 3 are, right? With Poppy, A-Rod, and Jeter.
Right.
But I listen to everything, and I listen to everybody, especially after
big names. I don't know how good an analyst they are.
Well, it's not that. It's just what it is. What it is, and it's Hollywood, and they put on a cool show.
Showbiz,
but it is showbiz. But I will tell you this: for the first time, because at times one of them will say something about like, oh, that's a good comment, or the other one, but rarely do all three sync up into, for
very
me
cliche.
to be, they're very cliche. This comment they made last night off of the post-game interview with Mookie Betts, where he said, I've been terrible. I've been horrendous. It's not for lack of effort, but I have just been atrocious, and I have to figure this thing out, and I'll keep trying. But the comments that they made was this. In fact, Poppy said something that makes sense. Sometimes when you're back against the wall like that as a hitter, and we've all been there that played at that level, you have to go back to the little league kind of mentality. The little league game where you go in and it's a Saturday and it's a little league game, and you're not worried that you went 4 for 4 or you went 0 for 4. You're thinking about, I'm just going to see the ball and hit the ball, and I want my little ticket so I can get my pizza and Coca-Cola after the game that the coach gives you, right?
That's right.
Back in the day, it's a little different now. Because now they go to Starbucks and to Chick-fil-A, and it's
Fleming's
and Fleming's and Fleming's, holy shit, and it's $47.95 for the kid to post game meal.
He deserves it though.
When we used to get the little,
he had a walk and 3 strikeouts.
Literally get a little clip off ticket, and win or lose, good or bad. And we'd run over to get our pizza and our
hot dog and a Coke was awesome,
dude,
baby.
That was so awesome, right?
Yes.
With the guys that you're playing, you just played against. Yo, man, good game, and you're high five. He's basically was saying, go back to the basics, see the ball, hit the ball. You're a really good athlete. You're a really good baseball player. One of this generation's in the last decade
MVP,
best, right? I thought that was telling. Number 2, you had Derek Jeter come out and say something that's really kind of informative, and that is that he's kind of in a phase where he's in paralysis due to over analysis.
Thinking too much.
You're thinking way too much, and is your hands right, and is this right? And he needs to get out of that and just and they all kind of synced in, but had different ways of saying it. And then A-Rod said something that's also very interesting, and he says that his tone needs to change. And it's true. You're down 3-2.
Yeah.
You've been horseshit. You almost got, but what A-Rod was saying is that you got to fake it a little bit and kind of say
fake it till you make it. Yeah. Self-talk, good positive self-talk. Yeah.
And I think that all three makes a difference.
Yeah.
And he's a catalyst. I think, and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I would put him back. They did switch it up earlier in the season when he was struggling, and they put him at the leadoff spot. I would put him at the leadoff spot. Take that pressure off of basically defending, quote unquote, Ohtani. You know what I mean? The guy that hits behind him. So then if Ohtani gets
all that pressure on you,
putting all the pressure that or even if they pitch to Ohtani and he doesn't do anything, now I got to do something. As opposed to like, okay, they got to pitch to me,
right? Because
if they walk me, you got to face the big guy.
Yeah. And it's somebody on base, obviously.
Exactly. So it changes everything. Anytime you have a powerful hitter behind you, you are going to get good pitches.
Right. If Ohtani's on first, who can steal a base.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see more fastballs.
Right. No, but I'm talking about him leading off because then Ohtani's looming behind you.
Yeah, that too.
You're gonna get good pitches. The guy that protects you, the guy that you can think of Barry Bonds. Jeff Kent hit 40 home runs a year that Barry Bonds hit 73.
Yeah.
Jeff Kent never hit 40 home runs again in his career because he was getting heaters. They didn't want home team to hit a 2-run homer. If he was going to hit a home run, it needed to be a solo.
Right.
So all of a sudden, Jeff Kent, middle of the season, said, "Holy cow, I'm getting all these fastballs." He started launching. So Rich Aurelia was hitting ahead of Bonds. He hit like 38 home runs or something like that.
Well, it's good Jeff and Barry were so close.
Oh, my gosh. They loved each other. Yes. Barry did have a few players. Andy Van Slyke was one of them that he did not get along with. But the bottom line is that I would put Mookie in the leadoff for Game 6.
Yeah.
And if they make it through Game 7. I do feel that this is going to be a historic series, meaning if you're going to have a historic series, there needs to be a Game 7. And I think Yamamoto will go out there and do what he's going to be handed the ball to do. Be our savior. Just stop this offense, keep them under 2 runs. And if they can keep the Jays from doing what they've been doing, another telltale point of the difference in offense has been, okay, the Jays have walked 22 times and they've only struck out 44 times, right? Mm-hmm. The Dodgers have walked, by the way, 24 times, but they've struck out 55 times.
Yeah.
So that difference, that 20+% difference, those non-strikeouts of 11
unproductive outs
have been unproductive outs. And when the Jays have produced something from those outs, they put the ball in play. Oh, by the way, a lot of times, sometimes also on the ground, might be, a CNI base hit. The Dodgers, on the other hand, popping up a lot. When you're really struggling, you're striking out
on the defense.
And you're popping up, no pressure on the defense. So it's going to be an interesting thing, but the Dodgers definitely have put themselves backs against the wall.
All right, we're going to get to a lot more of these storylines. We want to thank Texas Roadhouse of Wesley Chapel, our man Tyler over there.
TRWC, baby.
Yeah, if you want to go watch a game and you have a great meal, they have a beautiful bar there. What is Jen the bartender?
Jen was the bartender.
John's the bartender. Yeah, you get a nice steak with a baked potato, some fresh veggies,
food at a comfortable price.
A house salad to start things off.
Watch
a nice
the game
frosty brew.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And also
that's a grand slam.
And also we got to meet their butcher.
They hand cut all the steaks.
That's I think one of the key things about that, because if you realize it, unless it's a Uber Burns Steakhouse or Charlie's, you're not getting hand cut steaks.
No, and a lot of these Cisco type things that they send them in, they're vacuum packed and they just don't have the flavor of a fresh cut steak.
Phenomenal.
And it makes a difference. It really does make a difference. So go check out Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. Have a great meal there. Tell them Big O sent you.
Yes, sir.
Also, Kingmakers Tampa is part of the Murphy Auto Group, where we do our show here. Private club, kingmakerstampa.com. Check it out. Come join us over here. And they're also Genesis of Tampa is part of the Murphy Auto Group. Mike Murphy, you introduced me to him. That's why we're here.
He's a
great dude.
Yes.
And I think
he's a community leader too.
He is a community leader. He's now part of the Rays ownership group, and they're stepping up big time for the folks in Jamaica. And they're leading Project Jamaica Relief over there. Florida stores are teaming up with the Murphy Auto Group with Gray Bull Rescue, another great organization.
If you do not know Gray Bull Rescue, just look them up and what they do, what Brian does over there, and how they save lives, not only here in Florida, but worldwide. Gray
Bull, that's GREYBULL, a Gray Bull Rescue. And they're collecting hurricane relief supplies to send to Jamaica. So what you can do is go on Amazon and buy the MREs. Okay, and then you can ship them to Genesis of Tampa, and then Gray Bull and Genesis of Tampa is going to fly them to Jamaica.
Correct.
So buy these MREs; they're cheap, and buy a bunch of them so you can get some food.
The good thing about that, by the way, JP, is that you're not just donating money, and then you don't know where it goes, right? And
because it goes
to the people, it goes, and they'll make some excuses that we had, this happened, and we had to pay for this. But anyway, I digress. But the bottom line is that these are MREs that they're not going anywhere but to the help.
Yeah. And ship them to Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33613. You can look it up and write it down now. 801 East Bears Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33613. Genesis of Tampa. Buy the MREs or just bring whatever you can bring.
Whatever
if
you
have
bring
some
over
clothes,
to Genesis.
Just bring it over to Genesis and they'll get the plane together and fly it down there to Jamaica. So we appreciate them from doing it. By the way, if you buy a new Genesis, no payments until 2026.
No payments until 2026.
So great cars over there, but even more, a great organization, a Murphy Auto Group, that are always doing things and up for the small business of the year award too.
They are up for the small business of the year award. There's different classifications of levels depending on your employees. And the Murphy Auto Group, or is known as McMag for Murphy Auto Group, is up in the running for and again, want to thank the Tampa Chamber of Commerce. It was a phenomenal chamber. Met with Jeremy and several of their people there. In fact, I was at an event last night on behalf of Murphy Auto Group with a few of us that they had a big event at the Bank of Tampa about all the people that are up for the awards. The awards will be announced November 6th at a big gala at Pepin Distributors and at their big gala ballroom deal. And this is exciting for the Murphy Group because one of the things they want to do is not only be a great business in the Tampa area, but also be great giving back to the community and be leaders as they grow and grow and grow. And Mike's a leader in that.
So thank you guys. And once again, Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, Project Jamaica Relief.
Big deal.
All right. So we talked a little bit about Trey Yesavage and him playing here at the Dunedin, which is crazy. We haven't talked a lot about Addison Barger, who is a King High graduate from right here in Tampa.
Yeah.
He was drafted in the 6th round of the 2018 Major League Draft and has kind of worked his way up. Had a grand slam in game 1 of the World Series.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the postseason.
Right.
When he was a pinch hit grand slam, by the way. I don't know how many pinch hit grand slams we've had in the World Series.
Right.
But that's got to be a really, really small
No,
group.
That was the first. That was the first.
There you go.
Pinch hit grand slam in the World Series.
So Addison Barger.
Had a lot of firsts with Addison.
And we got Bo Bichette from Lakewood High.
Well represented.
How's he doing?
He's doing phenomenal. I'll tell you how good Bo is doing. When you talk about and listen, as a roster, and I mentioned it pretty much right off the bat before game 1. I said I'm interested to see how the rust will be on the Dodgers. I saw it firsthand covering for XM Radio back in the day. Now it's Sirius XM, covering the World Series when the Tigers went and they swept. Right, and then they ended up meeting a Albert Pujols St. Louis Cardinals team that had went deep in their division title. Yeah. Championship, the division championship games, and all of a sudden you saw the Tigers kind of like be a little bit out of sync, and I was worried about that. But then all of a sudden, Bo Bichette's not out of sync, and he hasn't played since September 6th. Not seen Major League pitching.
That's not easy to do.
So this guy has had great at-bats after great at-bats. I'm proud of him. Big fan of them. Big friends with Dante Bichette we had on a couple of weeks ago. So props to Dante. Props to Dante and his wife, but also props to Bo and what he's doing. Had a great at-bat yesterday to drive in their 6th run.
And they got an opportunity now going home with 2 games. Yamamoto pitch game 6 tomorrow night.
Yes.
And then Saturday night, if there's a game 7.
Saturday night, if there's a game 7, I would imagine it would be Mad Max Scherzer giving the ball, but on a short leash with Shane Bieber on short rest. But you can bring in Shane Bieber in the 4th or 5th. Just go, balls to the walls with Max, give you what he's got. And then you can bring in Bieber as you kind of try to get to Jeff Hoffman, who's having a really, really good series closing out games. On the flip side, the Dodgers have to have an impeccable outing from Yamamoto. And I'm talking, hardly use the pen until you just get to Trinan and Sasaki. That's the deal. You just really don't want to use anybody else in their pen. Yeah. You want to try to get to Trinan and Sasaki or just Sasaki. You know what I mean? But that's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask for this guy to have double up. Actually, it'd be tripling up. Because he had a complete game against the Brewers, a complete game against the Jays. It'd be hard-pressed and unprecedented. It'll only add to the lore if this guy goes out to this World Series with all the different historic, firsts that we're seeing for him to go through a complete game. But if he does and they win, then you're looking at Tyler Glass now, who threw, 4 2/3 of shaky ball, 3 walks, didn't get the loss, obviously, because that was the 18-inning game.
Game 7.
Advantage right now, obviously, strong if you're a better on the Jays to win it out, because I do not think that the Dodgers will win 2 games in Toronto.
Well, they've just got to get the bats going somehow.
They got to get the bats going.
I don't see how you can have a lineup like this and it just be this.
They've just lost it. They've lost it. I think it's cumulatively because it's not just, I think a catalyst is obviously the aforementioned Mookie Betts, but they've kind of lost it. You see where Pages has just been out of sync. They had to sit him down. I bring Pages back. I'll be honest with you, if I was managing, I just say, Andy, you've been my guy, all season long.
Let's go.
And let's go. You had 27 home runs. You were an exceptional center fielder. I'm going to go with my best outfield and give him a chance. But it's that, it's that Teoscar, Max Muncy, mix along with Will Smith. They have such a potent offense. that are just over swinging right now and popping up, and too many strikeouts.
Yeah, 350 million just doesn't buy what it used to.
So, it doesn't, man. It doesn't. It
4
doesn't.
hits is the best you can get out of that.
That's
for a rookie making 800,000, which is Savage going up against the $350 million juggernaut.
No, the Dodger vets have to step up.
Yes, they do.
But this is, I'm hoping that Yamamoto does his thing, because I would love a game 7 for this.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, because this series almost like beckons it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. All the 2 home runs last night, right off the bat, never been done.
Right.
Pinch hit grand slam, never been done. 18 inning game, only done one more time. Walk off Freddie Freeman, second walk off. World Series, never been done. I mean, 12 strikeouts, no walks, never been done. Like, what else? So what else we got in this series?
We need a game 7.
We need a game 7 in the Rogers Center, where we've had a walk-off before,
right?
At Joe Carter.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good call.
That was a game 6, was it not? Maybe game 6? I forget.
I'd have to go back.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a 7. Yeah,
no, I don't think it was a 7. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, it begs for it. So Yamamoto is going to go out and do his thing, and then we get a game 7, Tyler Glasnow versus Max Scherzer. Yeah, there's another great story.
Another great story, Bad Max.
I'm here for it.
There's guys, and again, I mentioned before, Will Klein, another incredible story. This guy
18-inning game.
In the 18-inning game, throws 4 innings, shutout, 5 punch
with
out,
the ginger beard.
And this guy in this, has been DFA'd twice by teams. And by the A's. I mean, you're talking about teams that if the A's, DFA you gotta suck.
You suck.
You know what I mean? And they DFA'd him, and they took future considerations, nothing for him. He ends up in Seattle. Seattle doesn't need him after a little while, and they DFA him, and they finally trade him to the Dodgers. And this guy does what he does. So it's been so many storylines, way more than last year's. Last year's narrative was strictly
Yankees Dodgers,
right.
Shohei. We didn't need much.
Shohei Judge, Shohei Judge, and then Freddie.
We didn't even talk about the Shohei game. The 10 home run game. That's like, oh yeah, that was in there too.
Yeah, no. Listen, it's just been a phenomenal postseason and a phenomenal World Series. So baseball is definitely on the up with that, and they got to be loving it. And I'm sure Rob Manfred, the leader of the pack, is hoping for a game 7.
Yeah, that'll be phenomenal. All right, you mentioned managers, and we got a comment. By the way, you guys can comment on YouTube, on X at the JP Peterson Show, on YouTube, the Fanstream Sports Tampa Bay, and on Facebook, JP Peterson. You can do it all there if you want to jump in here. Mike H says John Schneider should be manager of the year. Started the year slow, but came on strong.
I think he will, regardless of winning or not.
Yeah,
I think he will. He's done a great job for them.
They do that in the regular season anyway. So
it's only for the regular season, but I think you got to consider him. Obviously, Seattle coming out of nowhere to win the division and overtaking the perennial, champs in the Houston Astros was massive. So Dan Wilson needs to be considered. But definitely, I think Schneider, again, regardless of the fact that they might win the World Series, I would give it to them. I would give it to him. I probably on the flip side, you'd have, Murphy from the Milwaukee Brewers and what he was able to do in the regular season, most wins of any team. So those are my 2 guys.
All right, let's talk about managers.
Speaking of managers,
new managers, we learned today Blake Butera, who has been in the Rays organization not for very long because he's 33 years old. We're going to be the youngest manager.
3 Rays are involved.
Yes.
No, there's another one that I didn't know that much about, but I didn't realize. So
Blake Butera, let's start with him. Yeah. He becomes the Nats' new manager.
Right.
He's been a single-A manager for the Rays, but obviously no higher than that.
Right.
This is a bizarre hire.
There's a few bizarre hires if you think about it. Yeah. You've got, obviously Tony Vitello that we're going to talk about with the Giants is coming out of UT, coming out of the world of powerhouse baseball, college baseball. Very strange, but again, the Giants wanting to do things differently. So are the Nationals. The Nationals, had their World Series, manager Davey Martinez. Man, am I a big fan of Davey Martinez, our own Tampa Bay native and former Ray.
Love him.
And did a great job. Love that man and his family. He's such a great human being. But yeah, he got the short end of the stick when, they started trading off, dare I say, Harper's and the Sotos of the world. All of a sudden his great team got taken out from under him when they went cheaper over there in Washington. And it showed on the field. So they fire him. They bring in Miguel Cairo, another wonderful guy. By the way, they're neighbors in Safety Harbor. They both.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're right down the street from each other. And another great guy in Miguel Cairo. But Miguel Cairo, did the best we can. I don't know exactly what is the rest of the season. I want to say it was like 20 wins, 40 losses, something ugly. And they didn't, decide to. They did consider him, but they opted to go with something new, something fresh, and a guy in Blake Butera, who's only, by the way, 33 years old.
33.
He's going to have several players on that team that are older than he is.
And he's not a very big man either. From the pictures that I saw, I don't know the dude.
I don't know.
No, he's very slim build. So,
that's all right. Craig Counsell slim build.
I know, but Craig Counsell played the game to a high level.
Yeah,
I don't know
at a World Series level.
I mean, when you got a bunch of alphas walking into a clubhouse and he's like, here's your manager, and I'm like, no, that's the guy that was bringing us the towels. That's not the manager. I don't know the guy from Adam. He's obviously a brilliant guy. He's done something to get here.
I will tell you this.
Just, that came out of nowhere.
I will tell you this. My most feared manager that I had of several was a guy by the name of Jim Skip Leland. And Jim Leland is about yay high, 5'7", and 150 pounds soaking wet. And that little general, when he walked in our clubhouse with the Pirates, everybody went like, yes, sir. So
but his reputation preceded him.
Oh my God, that's true.
He wasn't 33 years old when
he wasn't 33 years old. He had been around baseball for a long time.
Right.
And just a rough and gruff, smart manager, but also exceeded and expected a lot from his players. And when he talked to you, it was straight to your face, eye to eye. He didn't care if you were 6'4", 250 pounds like I was.
The gravelly
boys. Gentlemen, we're going to do this. And we're going to
with no filters.
And the famous thing one day, we just get to the locker room, and he had everybody wearing in BP the shirt that's "There's no I in team," And I remember I lockered next to Barry Bonds, and I was putting on that shirt, and I'm going, "There's no I in team, but there's a me in there somewhere."
And Barry knew that.
Barry was me being the sarcastic guy. I kept it to myself. I can say it. Of course,
you would say it.
I should have said to BB. I go, "There's me in there, though, buddy." And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Oh, there is a me in there,
and that's where it starts with me."
But no, I think Butera could be a smart signing. We'll see. Because again, look what's going on. What's going on is that certain teams are deciding to go against the grain and bring in that youth movement, in the sense, not so much that Vitello's that young, but the youth movement in like this. Vitello comes from the college ranks, so he's been dealing with these 19, 20, 21-year-olds. Oh, by the way, Major League Baseball is drafting heavy with the college guys now. They still love their high school guys, right? Because they like to develop them, but they're drafting the college guys and rushing them up to the big league sooner. So a guy like Butera has to have a better, you would assume why one of the reasons is like you can associate better with the younger players, and you're really on tap when it comes to analytics.
Right.
So that has to be why his interview went really, really well.
All right. Speaking of college,
that's a former Ray.
Yep.
That's a former Ray. Number 2 former Ray.
Right.
Oh, by the way, and I'm going to skip. I'm not going to go to Derek, but I was looking at, because I had no idea what was going on with the which one was it? With the Orioles.
Oh yeah.
Craig Albernaz. Did you know Craig Albernaz went to Eckerd and was drafted by the Rays?
No.
Yeah, so he's another Rays, kind of from the Rays tree, if you will, and also coached for the Rays. So three guys tied to the Rays.
From the Rays organization.
From the Rays organization. So Abernathy has been coaching in the minor leagues. In fact, was the third base and catching coach for AAA Durham Bulls in 2017. So knows the Rays organization, knows their mantra, knows their system, knows analytics.
I know why these owners are hiring these guys.
Why?
Because They think they can do what Stu Sternberg did. They cut the payroll to nothing and still win.
Wow.
They love that. That's the formula they're after. Hey, come here and let's win on a $60 million payroll so I can bank the other 300.
Yeah. Hey, listen. And he was also
I'm tired of and to a point, you can't keep up with the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, who have the 5th highest payroll at 250. It's at some point you're just like, we can't compete with that. So let's bring in these guys that know the Rays formula, and we'll spend $60 million and win a lot of regular season games.
And if you're going with the Rays formula, this guy was also a major league bullpen catching coach. Kevin Cash.
Yeah.
So a young mind. That one I truly believe probably is an interesting thing. But he's a former catcher. I'm really big on catchers. As managers, I think they're the best mindset.
Yeah. They're the quarterback of the
game. And so there you have 2 hirings from the Rays former staff guys.
And number 3
is our very own Derek Shelton, who has been with the Twins the last couple of years after getting fired by the Pittsburgh Pirates when he was over there for a few seasons. And
wasn't he fired as our hitting coach too?
He was fired as the hitting coach. And he was here for a number of years.
He's a smooth talking devil.
He's a guy that knows baseball really, really well.
Yeah.
I love Shelty as the human being that he is. I'm not convinced as him as a manager. And I really am having trouble with the reshuffling of a guy that hasn't shown, even playoff potential wins. Now you could say, well, you got stuck with the Pirates. I mean, that was listen, the reality is that even a Rocco Baldelli went to the Twins when they weren't really doing well, and he got them to the playoffs a couple times. And then they finally kind of struggled again, and they got rid of Rocco Baldelli. And obviously now Derek Shelton's taking a turn. So another former Ray in Rocco Baldelli. But I would like to think that MLB would kind of stay away from the reshuffling of managers that haven't had success.
The retreads. And bring in some new blood. Oh, by the way, being Hispanic and knowing that baseball is predominantly 2 demographics. When you look at the all-stars of it, it's white American and Hispanics, and I think that should show more in your managers, just like football has taken the baton to represent what their game's players predominantly demographically are. Can I give you his records as the Pirates manager?
Yes, you can.
2020, obviously joined midseason. 1941,
right? Basically like Miguel Cairo.
2021, 61 and 101.
Hello.
2022, he got much better.
Yeah, did he?
62 and 100. In 2023, 76 and 86. So a nice jump there.
A little jump.
And 24, the same exact, 76 and 86.
Right.
And then started 12 and 26 this year and got fired.
Right.
That is obviously you're working with the Pirates. I get it. But my Lord.
Yeah.
That is a lot of losing to get another job.
To retread and work your way into
holy shizbang.
A major league job when there's a lot of other guys and other teams like we just mentioned are taking.
That's after
chances.
Getting fired as the hitting coach in Cleveland and Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Wasn't he with Toronto for a minute?
I don't see that here.
Coaching wise.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was with Toronto for a second.
Yeah. Don't see that in this particular story.
Okay, I thought he was.
Again, great dude, but wow.
He is a great dude.
Wow.
But again, I just look at it and go, okay, there's other guys out there that are interviewing and that have the potential. And MLB needs to look at that. I just think that is
big time.
Retreading doesn't help the game.
No,
it really doesn't. If I'm a Twins fan, here's what I'm saying.
How are you inspired by that hire?
That is the sentence to say.
Jeez.
Where if you're a Nationals
and
fan,
Albert Pujols can't get a job.
Hello. If you're a Nationals guy, you could say, okay, Blake Patera, we don't know who he is. Let me look into him. Okay, wow, he's fresh. He's new. He might be the next Kevin Cash because there's the comparable.
Yeah.
Right. Kurt Suzuki, first-time manager, but a long-standing career as a solid catcher Again, love the catcher.
Yeah.
And they're going, he's been with the organization now for the last few years, both as a player and in their coaching front office. Okay. I'm excited about Kurt Suzuki. In fact, there was a really good press conference introducing Kurt Suzuki, and everybody seemed to be happy with that hire.
Yeah.
Tony Vitello, weird hire. You're going after a major college coach, but okay, the analytics and how he gets along with younger players, I get it. Okay. Skip Schumacher made a heck of a lot of sense to me. Been already with Texas, understands the whole farm system, the whole team, the mantra that they want to try to get to. Skip is a heck of a young, exciting, vibrant young manager. I get that one. I'm not getting the Twins hiring.
Well, and Vitello is going to be an interesting.
He's an experiment. Cat. Yeah,
I mean, he is a high energy.
Yeah,
he's almost like a college kid himself.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know him very well.
It's a lot of rah sis boom boss stuff that doesn't play in the major leagues, right?
That doesn't play in the major leagues. I think teams are, and you're going to see this. There's still 3 other teams that are looking for a position. Atlanta Braves obviously are looking. The Padres, both their veteran managers decided to step aside. Wasn't even firings. They just decided to, to part ways. And then the Colorado Rockies have been an abysmal organization. If there's an abysmal organization of the 30, it's the Colorado Rockies.
They need new ownership.
So they need possibly new ownership for sure, no doubt. They need to change their mindset, but also they need a true leader. So when you're going after a true leader, you need someone with substance and has that type of thing.
If I'm going to retread anybody, I'm retreading Rocco Baldelli.
That guy, I would give it. I can see him going to college. He's won something. He's also won as a player. He's taken an organization that was on the downside and lifted them up to a couple of playoff appearances.
Yeah.
And was right there a couple of times to move forward.
Very well regarded.
Extremely well regarded. I can't see
strange hirings in Major League Baseball. Very strange. I think your point is a really, really good one. All right, let's do a little Rays here. The Rays pop-up shop.
Yeah.
It's just popped up.
It just popped up.
So
I love it.
The first endeavor of the new ownership group is to do a pop-up shop in the old Dr. Barbecue building right across from Tropicana Field on First Street. So not in Tampa,
right,
where they might be building their new stadium. We'll get to that in a second. But in St. Petersburg, and I think that's a nod to, hey, this is our home for the next 3 years. Let's embrace it.
Yeah.
Come on down. We're giving, it's a really cool place. They're doing like free lattes, pastries, coffees, hot dogs. So you can come and sip and shop. The grand opening is this Saturday, 11 to 3. And they're bringing in Ryan Pepio.
Is going to be signing some autographs, making an actual player appearance, which I think is massive because it was few and far between other than FanFest, right? At the stadium where their players were available to you. Rays have notoriously not sent their players out and about.
Right.
And, and I think that's imperative for this new organization to not only ingratiate themselves with the community by right off the bat before the calendar year is over. It's like saying, hey, we're here. Listen, we're going to open up a new store. The visibility, the positivity. We love you, St. Pete. This is the Tampa Bay Rays, not the Tampa Rays. We don't know exactly where our footprint's going to be with the new stadium by 29. But everybody realizes that this is pretty much good, 80 to 90% chance it's going to be out this way, maybe HCC. Regardless, you're our home for the next 3 years. We're going to fix up the Trop. We're going to add something to it. And, oh, by the way, come on down because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the community. And, oh, by the way, we're bringing you a ball player. I can't tell you how many times that having been involved predominantly for the years that I was in the last decade plus, in broadcasting, but also did a lot of appearances on behalf of the Rays organization that they asked me to appear at, that I would ask for a player. I remember I did something at West Tampa Little League, and I go, hey, can I reach out to Willie Adames and bring Willie? You know how big that would be? They know me, but I'm a former player. You know what I mean? And I talk well in the whole game, but give me Willie. Give me. Oh God, yes. Yeah. No, we're just gonna not.
Well, they'd have to pay him to do the appearance.
And after I forget how many it is, but it is the player is I think you get 2 free appearances that a team gets to use, and then you have to start paying them.
Must have used them up then.
But it's not even just the paying them. I can't believe that it would be the paying them a few $1,000s. It's just like they for so long. You know it because you were around a lot, even in the earlier years. They have a mantra of like protecting their players from the fandom.
It was weird. It was always, working at Channel 8. It was always like pulling teeth to get interviews, to get an interview, to come over to the stadium, to the station,
to the studio, which just happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
major sport teams.
For an organization that is having trouble selling tickets, they never really did a great job of making their players out in the community.
Look at us, come see us.
No, and that's, I'm hoping that this is going to be different with this new group. A whole new, as many times as I think that I counted 8 times Ken Babby mentioned being out in the community at the press conference. It's clearly a high priority for them, because they understand where they've gone wrong.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to it.
We have a diverse community over
and it's
here.
as I've said many times, it's such an opportunity that this is, and this is why they see such value in this team, and they quote overpaid for it. This community, as you well know, is so baseball centric. You know, I would dare say that at a grassroots level, it's the #1 sport, because not every kid can play football. Not every kid can play basketball. There's size issues there. Every kid can play baseball, and almost every kid does play baseball.
I have to agree with you. I think other than the incredible emergence of youth and amateur soccer, which has been huge, and it's grown in Tampa Bay. So I have a lot of friends that their kids are playing in travel teams and rec teams. That's beautiful, by the way. I've always been a proponent when I've signed a baseball for a kid is play hard, study harder. So I want you to study and be a better student, but play something, do something, get outside. Yes. And most soccer has been big, but it's mostly baseball.
Yeah. So
football's tricky and expensive. Basketball, it's just not as many tournaments and things that you see. This isn't, you'll see it more in the North Carolinas and certain other areas.
Baseball here.
It's baseball.
And it's untapped potential for a major league team to tap into the grassroots if done right. Centrally located stadium, iconic stadium, and an ownership group that understands that this is a blue-collar town, and you got to go out and show love to the fans, and they will love you back.
And the thing about, and I will add that about baseball that is beautiful, and why spring training is so popular, and why people go out of their way to attend spring training, and from the northern states, right? And they plan their this is like spring training is the closest you're going to get to the players. I mean, you're literally they're right there.
Yeah.
And you can see, even if you don't get it, hey, Junior, and they wave at you, and also at the ballpark.
Yeah.
They're right there. Go to a football game and try to, get somebody's attention.
No, you can't even see their faces.
You can hardly see their faces
because they got the helmets on.
And even in hockey, it moves too fast. There's not that connection. The glass, basketball is about the closest, but still it moves so fast. Baseball is this game where there's the slow, even when they're running in from the outfield, and there's a connection. You have to. The connection of baseball is ingrained in, dare I say, the fibers of the United States of America,
and Tampa Bay especially,
and Tampa Bay, with all the greatness that we've had here. So why not connect those fibers and really have them see you? But if not, be more involved with businesses and the community. You could do so much. And again, by the way, it's not just the white community, the black community, the Hispanic community. We have so many vibrant communities in this area.
It's gonna be fantastic, and I think they're gonna do it the right way. And it starts, and if you're interested, head on out there. And it's
gonna be fun tomorrow.
I hope it runs better than some of the events of the old regime. That's for sure.
Gosh.
Woo! I got a couple comments here, if you would like to.
By all means.
Michael LaRue says the Dodgers are paying for Ohtani's contract with the revenue they make from selling the broadcast rights to their games in Japan.
Yes.
You know more about this than just about anybody. How does that work?
And also the revenue they make from the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars from the advertising, because if you look at Dodger Stadium, not just merchandise, advertising companies that and the merchandising, because I will tell you this, I spent last season with my old team, the Cebu Lions, as a special advisor for them, and I hadn't, every year I go to Japan 2 or 3 times a year. Usually is to go and visit my old team and do a little coaching with them. But if it's like a week, 10 days, or I'll go for gigs, right? Appearances that I get paid for to go over there and do a show or do whatever. So always a week or 10 days. It'd been well over 20 years that I had never spent more than a month in straight there. So I was there for 6 months, and I was able to really walk around Tokyo, walk around the area, Osaka, and the immense amount of Dodger hats were just crazy, right? And Shohei's everywhere, but it's the Dodger hats, the Yankee hats, the other team that was 4 teams, like were always
Seattle, I bet.
Nope. Huh? Dodgers, Yankees, Boston, and the Cubs. The Cubs more recently because of Seiyu Suzuki.
Oh, that's right.
And Imanaga. So, but those 4, but mainly Dodgers and Yankee hats, surprised me, because many years ago, even with Ichiro, even with Matsui, still it was always Cebu Lions hats, Hanshin Tigers hats. The majority are Tokyo Giants hats. Yakult Swallows hats. They were proud to wear their team's hats. All of a sudden, the paradigm shifts. So that's another thing. Interestingly, but as far as the answer is, but there's just so much money that they're able to make from that. As far as selling advertising,
how much do you have
any idea? I would think per year, the Dodgers probably have to make close to $200 million a year.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
is that more than pays for his
just on
salary?
Japan. Yeah, and that's another thing that honestly, the Rays need to consider is to tap into, and on a different show.
Well, you used to have hockey.
Yeah, but I'm saying tap into the Japan market, believe it or not, because MLB is doing it. The WBC is around the corner for, in March, right? And there's ways to do it without signing a guy for $300 million. There's ways to not only scout the players that you might get a mid-level, player that they might be able to sign for 70 or 80 million for 4 or 5 years, but also kind of introduce yourself. I've always been a proponent, knowing both countries so well, that MLB just wants to try to sell all of MLB over there, right? So it's been really 4 or 5 teams, right, including the Mariners because of Ichiro. But you want to kind of do things, and I think there's things to be done over there.
That would be a huge part of my business
yourself. Plan. Yeah, I would.
If the new owners,
I would include that.
I'd hire you too.
Yeah, well,
I'd hire you right away.
There you go.
He speaks the language, by the way. But the scouting part of it, do the Rays have a full-time scout in Japan?
They don't have.
Does anybody have
Pacific Rim? Yes, several teams do. Several teams do. San Francisco, the Dodgers. Off the top of my head, there's 4 or 5 teams that have.
Who knows that league better than you?
Well, and not just that, but it's just kind of ingratiating with the Mitsubishis of the world,
right?
MUFG. If you don't know what MUFG is, the Mitsubishi Financial Group, which is
I thought it was something totally different.
You start
said that to my ex-wife.
Listen, stop with the MUFG, or maybe you called her an MUFG. You MUFG.
She deserved it.
But MUFG is one of the biggest banks in the world, and they recently, as of a year and a half ago, opened up a branch with their data center right next to International Plaza. So
in Tampa,
yeah, they have 500 employees. It's massive.
Hello.
Yes. So it's things like that.
New sponsor.
Yeah. Well, not only new sponsor, but I want to talk to Mike Murphy, because I think that would be kind of cool if it was the MUFG Stadium, and if they drop about if they drop about $40 million a year, and they probably would. So
$40 million for naming rights. And I know that's your payment for the stadium right there.
And I know their people very, very well. So something that I'm just waiting to talk to them about.
Mr. Cosgrove, I know you're watching. I have his number. You have mine.
That's the things that,
Let's get the business going.
Along with
and their headquarters obviously or aren't too far from where I believe the new stadium's going to be.
Oh, geez.
Because I think it's going to be right there on HCC.
Yeah. No,
campus. That seems
their main headquarters in New York City, obviously, and Atlanta, Chicago, LA, but they moved their data center operations from where? California. Thank you, Mr.
Smart.
Newsom.
Very smart.
And they came back to
Very
Florida.
Smart. Daniel Rivera says, good afternoon, gentlemen. I still believe a deal gets done and announced in reference to HCC by Thanksgiving at the earliest, but no later than sometime after the first of the year. Well, Ken Hagan told us yesterday, Hillsborough County Commissioner, or this week, that they want to have a proposal in place and a vote in the first quarter of this year coming up. So if they're going to do that, they've got to have their plan well underway. They got to know where they're going to build. We know that they've been speaking to the HCC board. There's been talks of what the plan looks like. We know all this. So if it's going to be anywhere else other than that, we're sure not hearing anything about that. This has been every little crumb that I get points towards HCC. So do with that what you will.
One thing we know about Ken Hagan and that group, they move fast and furious when they're given the ball. When you're handed the ball, they move fast and furious. I mean, kudos to them. I know you probably went, really deep into the fact that that Raymond James got named as the CFB.
College football.
That's
we talked about this last time. Is that college football championship game we didn't talk about this, but is 2029, January 2029.
Yes.
So if that stadium their target is 2029 for not only the stadium, but the entertainment district and the hotels around it.
Yeah.
I'd sure like to get that done by the time we do a national championship game across the street at Raymond James Stadium.
Right.
Which also begs the question, if the Bucs are going to renovate their stadium, it's got to be done by 2029.
You would think, right?
Yeah. So that means whatever they're planning on doing,
it's going to be super nasty and super cool.
It's going to be popping up here pretty soon.
Popping up soon.
Yeah.
I think
I know the first
time in 26.
The first thing that people say is, how are we going to have money for all this? Well, first of all, the county and the city don't have to pay for all of it.
Exactly.
They don't have to pay for it up front.
Right.
But they'll pitch in,
bonded out.
But the Glazers will share a huge part of the financial burden. There'll be some public money, no question about it. But the more that just like Jerry Jones, the more you pay for your stadium, the more control you have over the revenue coming into it.
Correct.
And and I think the Buccaneers know that their sweetheart deal that they got in the beginning is not going to be the deal they get this time. So
they got land around there that they can develop.
They want to develop, and that's where they make all the money.
Right.
And in order to develop that land, they need certain zoning and infrastructure that the city and the county
where they work together.
Can be part of it.
Right.
And so it all works together. So we have an immense opportunity here.
It could be. I mean, we're not that far away from 29
to be hosting, a national championship game. With that renovation at Raymond James comes another Super Bowl.
Sure.
We're only one of 5 cities that have had 5+ Super Bowls.
That's crazy.
We're only one of 3 cities now that are going to have 2 national championship games. So we are in a select group, but now with the upgrades of these stadiums in this sports complex,
right,
that looks like it's going to take place at HCC and across the street. You look at these entities and they say, wow, national championship game. We got another stadium over here we can do other things with.
Right.
We have an entertainment district there, something similar at Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah.
It's a complex that now, and of course it comes with the weather and the riverfront and the beaches. Yeah. I mean, what place, it's a hell of a lot better than Miami because everything's compact.
Yes. Miami's still Miami. That's not. Yeah,
but your stadium, everything takes place down in South Beach,
right? And
your stadium is 45 minutes away.
Correct.
Whereas in Tampa, if you want to do your riverfront things, it's 10 minutes away.
They just opened up the West Riverwalk area.
Yeah.
Which
armature work, all that. So, we are becoming
a mecca
destination for big sporting events
within literally 3 to 5 years.
Yes,
it's going to be huge. Then the question bears asking: aforementioned the MUFGs of the world, massive conglomerate.
Yes,
where are the corporations are going to be looking at this thing once these things are announced? The Natty just got announced. If I'm a big time corporation out in wherever, Chicago or
California,
mainly California, you're going
or New York,
and these guys are
going to
also
socialist
have
state of New York
across the street a brand new baseball stadium.
Yeah,
and maybe they land some WBC games. It might be a little tricky because the ownership group might want to open up for real. As the Rays, the Rays.
Oh, hell with that. The money that'll bring in.
The money that will bring in. So regardless, if that were to happen, but nevertheless, if both are concurrent in 29,
All-Star game in 30.
All-Star game. I mean,
Super Bowl in 31.
This is.
I got it all figured.
This is an area that corporations are going to be wanting to come into.
Because corporations, we don't have income tax here. And our corporate taxes are way lower.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
holy cow!
It's a very tax-friendly state.
They're a very tax,
which is why everybody's moving here. Which is why we also are like, don't move here.
Yeah,
we have
we can handle the growth. I mean, we have to handle the growth, and I think they'll throw money back into developing, roads and highways.
Well, and that's the thing, folks, is that these things cost money. We know that, but they're also great investments.
Sure.
They're great investment. I know there's academics out there that will tell you they don't bring in any money, but that's why they build these huge entertainment districts around these stadiums, and real estate prices go through the roof.
Yes.
And all these new stadiums that are built, especially baseball stadiums, suddenly all these areas that were blighted are developing around it. Look at Washington, look at Houston, look at Colorado, I can see it with my eyes. I don't need some academic to tell me it's not worth it.
The growth is
Look at Atlanta. The tax base has tripled.
Yes.
And you'll find people writing papers about how the Atlanta deal was a bad deal.
Yeah.
9 million people went through the Battery last year. 9 million people, and they probably spent money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they weren't coming to Cobb County before then.
And the big stat from that is that 28% of them were from out of the state of Georgia.
Yeah, almost 30%.
A third of them were from out of state.
They built 10 office buildings.
We want that money
in Cobb County
because then we can tax them. And again, remember, it's not our tax dollars now. It's their taxes are with the retail tax that you pop up a little bit for in those districts. We don't have to.
And that's the thing with these big events, like Super Bowl, national championships, all-star games, WBC. When you bring those events in and you create these special taxing districts, which they do, like with the Battery,
correct,
and that there's 1.5% at the bottom of the check. When it's just a regular season, it's a certain amount of money. Bring in another,
massive
10,
event.
20, 15 million people who are coming for big events, spending big money.
Yeah.
This is when the money really starts flowing. So when you say, oh, there's no way our taxes are going to go through the roof to pay for these billionaires, that's not how it's going to work. It's not how it's going to work. So that's all good.
It's exciting. It's great news.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you're in the sports business, as we are.
Yes, sir.
It's exciting times, no doubt. All right. Anything else we missed today that we wanted to get to? I think we covered it all.
I think we covered a lot, man. The only by the way, I do. Well, go ahead. You go first.
I got oh, by the way, for your sponsor.
Yeah, go ahead.
From Tyler. I'm going to get this right. Veterans Day. This is at Texas Roadhouse Wesley Chapel from Tyler. Says we have Veterans Day coming up. We give a free early dine meal to any veteran or active military that day, or they can get a voucher for a free meal they can use at their convenience. So that's coming up on Veterans Day. You'll get an early dine meal, or you'll get a voucher, come back and use it at another time. That's pretty cool.
And I like the fact that it's not just for veterans, but also active military, because we have a lot of military people in the area here. We love that.
I got an email today from one of the groups that supports our special operations families.
Yeah.
And with the government shutdown, they're having real crisis. So, special operations, these are folks that need help.
Yes, sir.
So reach out to those organizations. Operation Homefront is one of them, and help them out. And of course, I want to reiterate at Kingmakers and the Murphy Auto Group, we are accepting donations for hurricane relief for Jamaica. So buy those MREs on Amazon and have them shipped to Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears. And they'll bring them down there. They'll fly them down there. Gray Bowl Rescue is going to be part of this. You can also bring diapers, clothes,
canned
goods. Bring it over to Genesis of Tampa, and they'll take care of flying it down.
They will go to the right and proper good use. You don't have to worry about that your money's not important. Well spent. And by the way, Veterans Day, Tuesday, November 11th. So in 2025. So take advantage of that. That our beloved TRWC over there in West of Champa, Texas Roadhouse. By the way, is this with the World Series coming to an exciting, hopefully, end with even a possible Game 7. Who will be the MVP?
Ooh, for our next show.
Who will be the MVP?
I think it's yet to be determined.
Wow.
That
goes to show you how great a World Series we're having.
It could be Vlad.
It could be Vlad. It could be
Ohtani.
He goes off and hits 4 home runs.
Could be Yamamoto.
Yamamoto throws a complete game.
He throws 2 complete games.
3 in a row, basically, in postseason. But in the World Series, too, if he wins this game and throws a gem, whether it's complete or not, and then they go on to win, it's got to be Yamamoto, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have a guy like Shohei who could do some crazy stuff and hit 4 home runs in 2 games. Yeah, it could be Shohei, right?
Could be Vlad.
On the flip side, the leading pack, obviously being the Jays up 3-2, the leaning would be possibly our boy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Because what he's done. But if they close it out in Game 6, dare I say, Trey Savage
could be.
They close it out in Game 6, and there's not one, and it's not Gossman going out and throwing some master gem. Dude, what that kid did was insane. It set them up for closing it out.
Yeah. And it could be also Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman could, if the Dodgers win.
If he comes, if he does something special in Game 6 and 7.
How could you forget at the 18th?
If he does something, but he has to. He has a ways to go. He'd have to do something special in 6 and 7.
And they got to win.
They'd have to win.
I think
odds on right now it's Vladdy.
It's Vladdy, but if they win, Savage, man, it's just looming right there, bro. Because that was the turning point game if they win in 6.
Game 5 is always that.
Yeah.
All right, partner. That was a hell of a show.
Outstanding, brother.
Hell of a show. Need some cool music to.
It's
gonna be fun. Cannot wait. Give me a Game 7, please.